You're watching Forsaken Joe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy the story. Let's begin. It was the laughter that hit me hardest. Not hers, though Alana's was the loudest, but the whole damn table erupting like she'd said something clever. We were in Claudia's penthouse lake house. Yes, that's a real thing. Surrounded by polished floors, chilled rosé, and people who wore watches that probably cost more than my car. I was standing near the kitchen island, half listening to some guy drone on about crypto, when Alana piped up from across the room. "Oh, come on," she said, loud enough to cut through everyone's side conversations. "Daniel's job isn't that impressive. It's just some glorified desk duty. He basically babysits spreadsheets all day." And then, boom, that was the moment, the laughter. My ears burned. I felt the heat crawl up my neck. Everyone was looking at me now, waiting for me to either laugh along or be the boring guy who can't take a joke. I picked up my glass and raised it like a salute. "To spreadsheets," I said, forcing a grin. "Keeping America mediocre, one tab at a time." That got another round of laughs. Even Claudia snorted into her wine. Alana gave me that patronizing smile, like I should be grateful she included me in the fun. Quick note, before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. I took a sip of my drink and swallowed hard. Not the rosé, my pride. "My name's Daniel," I should probably mention. "I'm 36, live in Albany, and up until that night, I thought I had a halfway decent marriage." I didn't say a word about it to Alana. I didn't pull her aside, didn't make a scene. I let the night roll on, poured more drinks, helped clear the dishes. I even played bartender while the rest of them moved on to the deck to take selfies with the lake in the background. But inside, something cracked open. I'd brushed off little digs before. The way she skipped over my job at her company picnic last year. How she always introduced me as just Daniel instead of my husband who works in ops. I told myself it wasn't a big deal. But this, in front of people who mattered to her, this was something else. I didn't argue. I didn't even flinch. Instead, I got up, walked over to the fridge, and grabbed another bottle of wine, popped the cork, smiled like a good little background character. I barely slept that night. The room was quiet, dark, and cold. Exactly how I felt. Alana was already knocked out next to me, breathing steady like nothing had happened. That laugh, her face, the way she brushed me off like I was an intern. Every second of that damn party played on a loop in my head. I stared at the ceiling, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't try to explain it away. I let the truth in. She meant it. It wasn't a joke. That wasn't a slip-up or an awkward attempt at humor. That was how she actually sees me. And the worst part, she's always seen me like that. I started thinking back, not even that far, just last summer, her company picnic. I'd gone with her, even bought a new polo so I wouldn't embarrass her in front of her colleagues. I remember one of her VPs, some guy in golf shorts and boat shoes, asked what I did. Before I could even open my mouth, she laughed and said, "Oh, he works in office stuff. He's the organized one. Office stuff." That was the first time I noticed it. But I didn't say anything. I let it go. Told myself maybe she just didn't want to get into it at a work event. But it kept happening. At her friend's wedding, when someone asked if I liked my job, she stepped in and changed the subject. At dinner with her parents, when her dad said, "Operations director." What does that even mean? She just sipped her wine and looked away. The signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. You ever spend years shrinking yourself just to make someone else more comfortable? That was me. I kept things simple when I talked about work, downplayed wins. Let her talk over me when the topic turned serious. I made myself small so she could shine, and somehow, I convinced myself that was love. I turned my head to look at her. She was asleep, mouth slightly open, wearing that silk eye mask she always bitched about losing in hotels. She looked peaceful, like she didn't have a single thought about the way she treated me. And I knew right then I was done giving her the benefit of the doubt. But I wasn't going to blow up. I wasn't going to scream or pack a bag in the middle of the night. I wasn't even going to bring it up. What was the point? She didn't respect me enough to lie well. She thought I'd just keep swallowing it forever. Fine. If that's how she sees me, like some boring cubicle guy barely worth introducing, then I'd play the role. Smile, nod, make breakfast. I'd give her the version of me she thinks she's winning with. And while she's busy posting happy couple photos and playing house, I'd be working behind the scenes. No emotions, no drama, just strategy. So, The next morning, I got up early and made her breakfast. Not toast and eggs. I went all in. French toast, berries, even frothed her oat milk for that overpriced cappuccino machine she never figured out how to use. When she walked into the kitchen still in her robe, rubbing sleep out of her eyes, she actually stopped mid-step. What's all this? I smiled. Just wanted to do something nice. Figured you deserved a break. She blinked a couple times, then smiled back like she'd just won something. Wow, someone's feeling extra sweet today. I handed her a plate. Maybe I needed the reminder too. That landed exactly how I wanted it to. Like I was the one trying harder after feeling insecure. She ate it up, literally and figuratively. The next couple days, I kept it going. Flowers delivered to her office. Her favorite snacks stocked in the pantry. I even started folding the laundry without her asking, like I suddenly discovered domestic bliss. She couldn't stop grinning. And the best part, she told everyone. Daniel's really stepping up, she gushed to Claudia over speakerphone. It's like he's finally listening. No, sweetheart. I was finally watching. She posted a photo of us on Instagram. Me handing her coffee, her with that fake surprised look. Caption, when your man understands the assignment. Hearts and fire emojis rolled in. The whole curated love story was back on display. So, I leveled it up. Booked a weekend at that spa resort she'd been hinting about for months. No special occasion. No anniversary. Just a you deserve it gift from her newly devoted husband. We drove out Friday morning. I let her talk the whole way. About work drama, what Claudia wore to brunch, how someone named Liam actually gets it at her office. I nodded, smiled, threw in a few "that's wild" comments to keep the mood easy. She leaned over at one point and kissed my cheek. I feel like we're finally syncing up again. I looked at her, all relaxed in the passenger seat, thinking she was winning. Me too, I said. We spent 2 nights wrapped in robes and eucalyptus steam. She posted every moment, matching slippers, wine on the balcony, a couple's massage boomerang. Love him so much, she wrote under one post. I almost laughed. While she dozed by the pool on Saturday, I was on my laptop, Zoom call with HR. We were finalizing details for the new promotion offer I'd been quietly chasing for months. Better salary, senior ops title, relocation package. They wanted me in Texas by October. I muted the mic as she stirred beside me. Everything okay? She asked. Yeah, I said, closing the laptop. Just checking emails. She reached for my hand. Promise me we'll keep this energy going. I kissed her fingers. I promise. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel proud either. It was just a quiet, sharp kind of clarity. She never once asked what those calls were about. Never thought to wonder what I wanted. As far as she knew, she'd won. She'd motivated her husband. Good. Let her believe that. By the time we got back from the spa trip, a new name started showing up in every damn conversation. Liam. At first it was casual. Liam crushed that presentation today. Or, Liam's got such a fresh perspective, he's really shaking things up at the office. I didn't say much, just nodded, sipped my coffee, listened, but she kept going, every day. Liam's car is ridiculous, like fully loaded, all custom, but not flashy, just confident. Or, he's got this crazy drive, he just goes after things. Sure, Liam sounds like a real go-getter, definitely not the type of guy who'd be content in a glorified desk duty role. Then came the wardrobe change. New blouses, tighter skirts, a sleek leather tote she claimed was on sale. I knew better. I noticed the extra few seconds she spent on her hair, the subtle shift in perfume, more citrus, sharper. She was staying late more often, too. Always had a reason. We're finalizing a proposal, she said one night. Liam's helping me restructure the pitch. I tilted my head. Sounds like you two make a solid team. She lit up. We really do, actually. He's just sharp, You could learn a thing or two from him. That one stuck. I held my expression steady, took a bite of dinner, and said, maybe I should meet this guy. Sounds like he's changing lives over there. She laughed. Please, you'd hate him. He's too intense for your taste. Right. So I did what anyone with a brain and an internet connection would do. I looked him up. Liam Clark, mid-level sales rep at her company. Decent numbers, flashy presence, tons of self-promo online. His LinkedIn was a slideshow of buzzwords and shirtless vacation photos. His car, leased. His success. Mostly smoke. I dug deeper. No major deals closed. Inflated metrics. Zero leadership roles. Guy was all surface. But Alana didn't care. She saw Polish and hunger, and suddenly, that made me look like a background extra in my own damn marriage. At dinner, she'd talk about his ambition. At brunch with her friends, I'd hear her drop his name casually, like he was part of our circle. She even started using his phrases: circle back, pushing verticals, aggressive ROI. I wanted to vomit, and the way she looked at her phone, I knew, the little smirks, the quick finger taps under the table, the way she turned the screen away when I walked by. Emotionally cheating was being generous. She might not have crossed the physical line yet, but she'd already burned the bridge back to me. The only reason I didn't lose it was because I didn't need to. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't even hurt anymore. I just watched it all unfold like a movie I'd already read spoilers for. Let her chase the illusion. Let her compare me to a guy who couldn't carry a real job for more than 6 months. While she was chasing someone's highlight reel, I was building the next phase of my life. Quietly, carefully, and I made damn sure she didn't notice. It got worse. She started bringing up Liam in front of other people, at my sister's house during dinner, of all places. We were halfway through grilled chicken and mashed potatoes when she said, "Liam's doing this keto thing, dropped 12 pounds without even trying." My sister shot me a look. I just kept cutting my chicken. Alana kept going. "He ran a half marathon last weekend and pitched a major account on Monday. Talk about balance." "Good for Liam," I said, passing the salt. In the car afterward, she looked at me like I was the problem. "Why don't you ever challenge yourself like that?" she asked. "You've been in the same role for what, 5 years?" "6, I said calmly. "Promoted twice." She waved it off. "But it's the same company, Daniel. Same city, same routines. Sometimes I wonder if you're even interested in growing anymore." I tightened my grip on the steering wheel and forced a smile. "I'll add a marathon to my to-do list." She smirked, satisfied she got the last word. That was her thing. Win the moment, no matter how small. So, I gave her the moment, and kept the bigger one for myself. That week, I finalized the apartment lease. Not the Seattle option she always talked about if we ever relocated. No, this one was in Austin, downtown, modern, exposed brick, rooftop gym, walking distance to the new corporate office. While she was at Pilates, I forwarded the signed lease to my HR rep and scheduled the final relocation meeting. While she was making smoothies and texting Liam with her screen tilted away from me, I logged into our joint accounts and started consolidating, closed the savings account we barely used, transferred the balance into my solo high-yield account, rerouted our bill payments to my credit card, shut down the one she used for Uber and Amazon. I left just enough in the joint checking to keep her from noticing. She didn't notice. In fact, she thought we were better than ever. One night, while I was clearing the dinner table, she actually hugged me from behind and said, "Whatever you've been doing lately, it's working." "Glad to hear it," I said, drying a plate. She kissed my cheek. "You feel more present, more engaged. I think that trip really brought us back together." I nodded. "It changed a lot for me." She smiled, totally clueless. She thought she'd fixed me, thought her little power plays and Liam comparisons had lit a fire under her lazy, underperforming husband. She had no idea I was 2 steps away from vanishing out of her life with every dollar, document, and detail already handled. I just had to keep the performance going a little longer. It started with Uber. One Friday night, she stood by the door in heels and a silk blouse, staring at her phone with an annoyed look. "Why isn't this going through?" she muttered. "It keeps saying payment failed." "That's like the 3rd time this week." I looked up from the couch. "Weird. Might be a glitch. Want me to check it later?" She sighed. "Whatever, I'll just drive." 10 minutes later, she was gone, and I was back on my laptop. Another round of account closures. I'd already separated our recurring bills, removed her as a secondary on my cards, and moved every remaining dollar into my private accounts. The credit card she used, canceled the autopay, reduced the limit, and flagged it for review. Let the system handle the rest. A couple days later, she stormed in from work, holding her phone like it had insulted her. "Why is our Netflix down?" "No idea," I said, stirring dinner. "Maybe the card on file expired." "Well, it's under your email. Can you fix it?" "Sure," I said, already knowing I wouldn't. That night, While she flipped through cable channels like a caveman, I logged into the lease management portal and activated the early exit clause. My job's relocation package covered the penalty. She'd never see the paperwork. Everything was routed through my work email. One morning, I heard her curse in the bathroom, loud. "Are you kidding me? My card just got declined at the gas station." I walked in, toothbrush in hand. "Which card?" "The Chase one." "Huh. Maybe there's a fraud alert on it. You've been spending a lot lately." She glared at me. "No more than usual." "Relax," I said, rinsing my mouth. "I'll call and get it sorted." I didn't. That account had been marked for closure 3 days earlier. She didn't catch on, not really. Just kept mumbling about tech bugs and billing errors. I kept the routine tight, made dinner, folded towels, even picked up her favorite wine on the way home. Played the part so well, I could have won an Oscar. She thought we were finally synced up, closer than ever. Meanwhile, I was done pretending. The new apartment was ready. My move date was locked. HR had expedited the relocation, booked the flight, and scheduled my first day in Austin. Everything, every box, every bank transfer, every email was squared away. She was sitting on a crumbling stage, still thinking the spotlight was hers. And I didn't say a word. She showed up at my office on a Thursday morning without calling first. I was already gone. From what I heard later, she strolled into the lobby like she owned the place, full of that fake confidence she wore like perfume. Told the receptionist she was just there to surprise Daniel and grab a coffee nearby. The receptionist gave her a polite smile and said, "Daniel." "Oh, he doesn't work here anymore. He relocated last week." She blinked, confused. "No, that's not right. He works in ops, back left corner, by the window." The receptionist motioned toward the badge scanner. "That desk belongs to Brandon now." Alana didn't believe it. She pushed through security and walked back anyway. Probably expected to see my usual coffee mug and stress ball sitting on the desk, like this was some big joke. But there was no mug, no stress ball, no frame photo, just a new guy in a slim-fit shirt typing away with headphones in. She stared. "Sorry," he said, pulling off one earbud. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for Daniel." "Daniel Clark?" he asked. "Yeah, he transferred. Took the senior role in Austin. I just started here Monday." She froze. "Austin?" "Yeah," the guy said, nodding. "Big move. They were talking about it all last week." She didn't know what to do with that. She just stood there like her brain had dropped out of her skull. Apparently, she wandered around for a while after that. Asked a few more people, poked her head into HR, even checked the break room like maybe I'd be sitting there with a protein bar and a stupid smile. Nobody told her anything else. Not because they were hiding something. They just didn't care. To them, I'd moved on. No drama, no send-off, no mention of her name. She left the building, got in her car, and started blowing up my phone. 10 missed calls in under an hour. 3 voicemails, then came the texts. "Where are you?" "What do you mean, AUSTIN? You moved, without saying anything." "You seriously just left?" I read every single one from the comfort of my new living room, sitting on a leather couch she'd never seen, drinking coffee she didn't make, in a city she never even bothered to ask about. I didn't respond. She kept going. "You don't get to disappear like this, Daniel. I'm your wife. You owe me an explanation." "What the hell is wrong with you? This is insane. We were getting better. You can't just ghost me. Pick up the damn phone." "Nope." See, she thought she was still in control. That marriage meant she had a say in my choices. That her version of reality, that shiny fake Instagram fairy tale, could hold me hostage forever. But the second she walked into that empty office and realized I was already gone, that was the moment it flipped. She knew. I'd already chosen my peace over her pride. My phone lit up again. Another text from Alana, some long paragraph with all caps and question marks. I didn't even read the whole thing. Instead, I typed one line. "Don't worry. I found a better opportunity. You understand, right?" I hit send and tossed the phone on the counter. That was it. No explanation, no apology. Just her words thrown back at her. I poured another cup of coffee and looked out over downtown Austin. Sun was already high. My new job kicked off smooth. Team was sharp. Hours were tight. Pay was solid. Best part, no one gave a damn about my personal life. Meanwhile, Alana was unraveling. Claudia called me 3 days later. I let it go to voicemail, but curiosity got me, and I played it back. "Hey, I don't know what happened between you two, but Alana's melting down. She came over crying, saying you abandoned her. Honestly, Dan, she treated you like crap. I told her that. You didn't deserve it. I sat back and smiled. That was unexpected. Later that week, I heard from Tasha, another one of Alana's inner circle. Same tone. She's blowing up everyone's phones, trying to get people to take sides. None of us are jumping in. You were solid, man, always respectful. She's the one who kept running her mouth. She didn't see that coming, not from her friends. Her safety net wasn't just fraying, it was gone. And then there was Liam. Oh, Liam. She must have thought he'd be there to catch her when I disappeared. The moment I was out of the picture, she probably thought she'd level up from married but bored to new fling, new start. But Liam, that clown dipped the second things turned serious. I saw it unfold in real time. Well, not directly. I had access to her public posts, and I saw her Happy Friday selfies dry up fast. No more gym shots, no more humble brags. Just silence. Then she made her account private. When she finally reached out to Liam, probably in full panic mode, he ghosted her. No more flirty texts, no shoulder to cry on, no wine nights. Dude had no interest in emotional baggage, and she had a carry-on full of it. That silence must have hit harder than mine. Now she was really alone. I'd cut the accounts. She couldn't access the joint savings. The cards she used for gas and groceries were either canceled or locked. She had no idea how to manage money. We'd split the bills, but I was always the one actually paying them. She just spent. Uber didn't work. Spotify stopped. Her gym key card deactivated when the payment bounced. Rent was the kicker. She got a notice about the lease termination 30 days after I filed the relocation paperwork. She tried calling the landlord and got told, politely but firmly, that the contract was tied to my employer and I'd triggered the clause. She called again, more desperate. They told her the next rent cycle wouldn't process. System was already disconnected. That apartment, not hers anymore. I imagined her staring at her phone, blinking, waiting for someone to fix it all. No one was coming. I didn't ghost her. I didn't block her. I let the silence speak. And judging by the missed calls and desperate messages still piling up on my screen, it was screaming loud enough. A week later, I rolled into work at the new HQ with a full cup of coffee, no circles under my eyes, and zero weight on my chest. The building was modern, glass walls, open layout, standing desks, and a break room that didn't smell like someone's leftover tuna. My badge worked on the first try. That alone felt like a win. People said good morning and meant it. I had an office, not a cubicle. A team that actually looked to me for direction. Nobody asked dumb questions like, "So, what exactly do you do all day?" They already knew. I belonged here. That feeling used to scare me. The idea of building something alone, starting fresh, without Alana by my side. For years, I'd pictured success as something we'd share. The dinners, the new place, the trips. We were supposed to reach those milestones together. But standing in that sunlit office, I realized something brutal and freeing at the same time. She was never part of the vision. Not really. She just filled the space because I let her. Because I thought she'd grow into the life I was building. But she didn't want growth. She wanted the illusion of status, someone to perform with at parties, someone to downplay when the spotlight shifted. And now I woke up without snide comments before breakfast. I didn't have to tiptoe around conversations or fake interest in whatever shallow drama her friends were cycling through. I wasn't expected to be smaller, so she could feel bigger. The quiet in my apartment was good quiet, no tension sitting in the air like smog, no performative hugs, just space, peace, a damn fridge full of groceries I actually liked. I started hitting the gym after work again, took long walks at night, read more, slept better. No schedule controlled by anyone else's moods or calendar. Even my face looked different in the mirror, like I finally fit my own life. Then one night, while watching a playoff game with a cold beer in hand, my phone buzzed again. Blocked number. I already knew who it was. I opened the voicemail app. Her voice cracked halfway through the first sentence. "Daniel, I just need to talk to you. Please, just 5 minutes. I don't even know where you are anymore. I need to hear your voice." I sat there for a second, beer sweating in my hand. I remembered the way she used to roll her eyes when I mentioned my job. The way she laughed at that party. The way she said I should be more like Liam. All of it. Then I dragged the message to the trash and deleted it. Didn't pause, didn't think twice. I leaned back, stretched out my legs, and cracked a smile. She wanted to hear my voice. Too late. She didn't listen when I was right in front of her. And now, I had nothing left to say. Next morning, I took a walk downtown. No agenda, just felt like moving. The sun was out, but not blinding. The city buzzed around me. People walking dogs, bikes weaving through traffic. Couples laughing with iced coffees in hand. I passed a guy in a suit juggling a phone call and a breakfast taco. Nobody knew me. Nobody cared. It was perfect. I stopped at this corner cafe near my building. One of those spots with the garage-style doors and indie music playing just loud enough to feel alive without making you shout. Ordered a black coffee, grabbed a seat by the window. Watched the world go by. There was a couple across the street, probably early 30s. She was leaning on his shoulder, holding his arm like it was the only thing anchoring her. He looked half asleep but content. Comfortable. I wondered what their story was. Who had the power in their relationship? Who was shrinking so the other could feel taller? Or maybe they had it figured out. Who knows? I used to think I wanted that. The whole shared life package. The routine. The photos. The sense of being a unit. But it's easy to lose yourself when you start living in someone else's idea of success. And that's exactly what I did. For too long, I let Alana define the scoreboard. Money, status, appearances. I thought if I hit all the marks, she'd finally see me. She never did. She saw who she wanted me to be, until she got bored of that too. But now I didn't have to play the role anymore. No more pretending to be on the rise, just to get approval from people I wouldn't invite to a barbecue. No more defending my job like it was on trial every time we met someone new. I sipped my coffee, hot, bitter, strong, felt good going down. I raised the cup toward my reflection in the glass and gave a little toast. To the cubicle guy she never really saw. And just like that, I was free.